Hi everyone and welcome back to Gymnastics with Rosanna. In today's video I'm going to take you through a few of the most common foot positions we use in gymnastics. Some of these are the same as ballet, some of them are a little bit different. Let's get started. So the first of our foot positions that we're going to talk about is first position. For this one we start with our heels together and our toes apart. We're squeezing up nice and tall, standing as tall as we can. I like to imagine with all of these that I've got a string in the top of my head that's pulling me up. So we're using our tummy muscles, we're tucking our bottom under and standing up nice and tall. So the most important thing about this foot position is that your heels are together and your toes are apart. It doesn't matter if your toes are a little bit apart or all the way out. The most important thing to remember is that you're pulling up tall and that you've got your heels together. One of the most common things I see is if people try and turn their feet out too far, they end standing like this or with their knees bent, some kind of weird position like this because they haven't yet worked on the turnout in their hips to be able to pull up as tall as they should to have their feet all the way out. So if you discover you're standing like this, turn your feet in a bit more and see if you reach that pulled up position. From here, our next position is second. So if you start in your first position, to get to second, all you do is move one foot out and put it down again. So our heels are in line with each other, our toes are in line, they're on the same turnout position as they were if they were here, but we've just moved one out. To make sure you're not in too wide of a second, I've always done this by if I point my foot and turn it out and then put it down, that should be about right. So just make sure you're still pulling up tall, standing up straight, and you'll be fine. From there, we're going to go to third position. So this is very similar to our first position, but this time we have our foot very slightly in front of our other one. So if first you've got your heels together, for third, you move your heel to roughly here where your ankle is and put it in front. Again, if you can't turn out as far, you find yourself sort of sticking your bottom out, bring your feet in a bit closer, narrow that angle until you're standing up nice and tall. And you can do third with either foot in front. So it isn't a one way only, third can be either way around. From here we have fourth position. We find this in a similar way to second position. So for four, if this time you point one foot out in front and then put it down, you'll find you're in fourth position. What you want to make sure in fourth is that your weight isn't all the way back or all the way forward. You want to be nice and centered and your heels are in a line and you've still got your turn out of your toes. So if you had a line drawn on the floor, your heels would be on that. And again, like third, you can do this with either foot in front. Our last foot position in our standard places is our fifth position. So this is much like our third position, except this time we're crossing our feet over further. So this time your heel sits just below where your toe joint is to your big toe. So if you find your third, fifth is just further across. And this is another very important one for making sure that if you can't turn out flat, you turn your feet to a narrower angle so you avoid that sticking your bum out position. And we can do this one on either foot as well. Something important to think about when we're doing our foot positions is pulling up through our ankles. So often you'll see instead of being in first, people roll their ankles in and then you end up with this weird looking position where they've got rolled ankles, which doesn't look particularly natural. So what you want to do is you want to make sure that you're pulling up through not your tummy and your head, but actually through your ankle as well. So instead of having an ankle that rolls over, it's pulling up nice and tall. And you want to try and make sure that all of your toes are on the floor. So we don't want to be out on our little toes and we don't want to be rolled in on our big toes either. We want to have all of our foot nice and flat on the floor. Another position that we use with our feet a lot in gymnastics is our lunge position. So this is one foot in front of the other, with the front leg bent and the back leg is straight. So here, we use this position a lot as a starting position for things like cartwheels and handstands, so it's also an important one to learn. You can turn your feet out slightly for it as well, but you want to consider if you were doing something like a handstand on beam, having a full turn out here wouldn't be helpful, but a slight turn out is good, because this is often a position we can use to start our spins as well. From here you can pull up and turn. You can also, depending on whether you're a right or a left leg person, do this on the other side as well. Just make sure that your feet, like your fourth position, your heels are in line, slight turn out, front leg is bent and the back leg is straight. Hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you again soon.